All right, I got something going on somewhere. I must have two of these. There. Let me close this one. I ca- I was playing the intro and I kept hearing it three different things, and I'd had a double screen open here. I didn't realize I had. So I muted the first one on top, and I didn't know there was one underneath it, and it was playing too, as well as the main one. I'm like, what the heck? All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Hump Day. Happy Wednesday. Happy Trash Day. Happy day after Election Day. Um, I guess y'all seen my little poll thing. I didn't even. I wonder how long that's been there. I thought, well, what the heck? It says do a poll, engage your audience, and I thought, yeah, let's ask the question. And right now, the question was, are you happy with the election results? And of course, we don't know them all yet, but right now it's 60-40 to the nose. So that's interesting. Let me get over here and see who we got hanging out with us today. We got a few folks over there. Let's see. Steve says, back from my trip, ready for some chit chat. Thumbs up, Dave. All right. Well, I appreciate thumbs up, and I will do my best to provide some chit chat. Good morning, Steve. Lonnie's here. Good morning, all. Working on tour video this morning. Okay. Good deal. Let's see here. Troy's here. Good morning, everybody. Thumbs up. Thank you, Troy. Darren's here. Happy hump day to you. Leo's here. Good morning, Dave and Jack. Hope everyone is having a great day. It's quite a different day than yesterday, and I'm not talking election stuff, but weather-wise, it's about 20 degrees difference from what it was this time yesterday and what it is now. It's a little nippy out there. Plus the wind's blowing, which anytime it's cool and the wind's blowing too, that really. Let me turn this silly thing off. It makes it seem a lot cooler, but let's see. Where did I leave off at? Here, Sean's here. Good morning, Sean. Gary Hammett's in the house. Good morning. Mr. Galt is here. Good morning. Thomas is here. Good morning. Clyde, good morning, sir. Kevin Ells, good afternoon to you, Kevin. Alan's here this morning. Good morning from Lower Alabama. Hope you're doing well, Alan. Keith's in the house. Good morning. And Bruce Foley. Gary's got an election coming, I guess. Not enough red. Leo said Ohio had mostly red. Yeah, it looks like Ohio did pretty well. I know it's still, well, it's not early. They should be able to count everything by now, but you know how they are. Don't get me started with that. But anyway, there's still a lot of results that are not called yet, or races that are not called. But I was just watching a little YouTube short video of some guy, and he was saying it looks like the so-called red wave ended up being a red ripple, and it's kind of looking that way to me too. So kind of disappointing. It makes you think, what's going on? What the heck is going on? Because all of the polling and all that stuff. Of course, I don't pay attention to polls, and when I get phone calls and text messages, and it's some place doing a poll, I never answer them. When I get text message or a phone call, I either block the phone number and just go ahead and block the text message as well. Block that number because I'm not telling them nothing. They don't need to know. I do my talking on election day. But anyway, yeah, it looks like we're still at 60-40 for the nose. But we'll see how it all works out. I thought it was interesting, and I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not no conspiracy theory or nothing. I'm just making an observation. Last time, 4 years ago, when our governor race was, Governor Kemp and Stacey Abrams, it was really close. And of course, Stacey never did concede, and she was she always blames the Republicans of being election deniers, but she was talking about shenanigans and all this kind of stuff, and never would really concede the race. But 4 years ago, the voting stuff was a lot more lax because, there was all these absentee ballots. They had all that stuff in Fulton County, the fake water main break, and stopped counting the votes and lock the doors and put stuff up on the windows, all this kind of stuff. And that race was close. Of course, now, 4 years later, Georgia has tightened up the things where they're like, okay, you can do mail-in ballots, and you can still do absentee ballots and early voting in person, all that stuff. But you got to have voter ID and a signature on the thing. And of course, you tighten things up. Now all of a sudden she loses by 7%. So just saying, just throwing that out there, make it harder to cheat, and they lose by a lot more. So that's all I'm going to say. Let's see. Alan says, all the best for the first members show tonight. I am looking forward to it. I got to tell you, Alan, I am so looking forward to that too. I think it's going to be a blast. I hope it is for the channel members that tune in and watch. Maybe it'll be just me and you. I don't know. But either way, I am really looking forward to that. I have been playing around with that thing more and more. Cut a bunch of stuff. Getting, I'm finding that it's more me getting used to the light burn and how everything works, and not so much the laser, because I got it dialed in. It's cutting like a son of a gun. But I'm finding now that, like, I can come in here and pull up light burn and see something I want to try, and within a few minutes have it ready to go on a thumb drive out there. And then that's funny right there. She's unable to close the gap. Now, see, that's funny if you know what she looks like, because anyway. But yeah, in just a few minutes, I can go out there. And I found that even a lot of the stuff you go out there and cut, I'm like, I wonder how much, I wonder how long this take. And you go out there and do it, and it doesn't take long at all to knock something. I knocked something out the other day, and not counting the program time, and I got out there and it cut it in like 6 minutes or something. I'm like, holy cow, this is just having a blast with that thing. It is a really, really nice machine, and I've wanted one of those for a long time. And big kudos to OMTech for reaching out to me and working out that partnership deal. So really happy to promote their products for them. In fact, Alan, I'm going to be working on, because I got a feeling the thing that I had planned for tonight, I'm thinking, well, that's probably not going to take as long as I think. So I'm going to get some other things, as backup, because I can probably talk about some of the other things I've done. But I've learned a lot about light burn, in the way the whole flow works. And it's like anything, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So Let's see. Alan says, I had a small tangle with the design in Lightburn. Their form is great. A Lightburn employee gave me the help I needed with a detailed answer. Yep. Good deal. I found that when I first started thinking about all this stuff a few months ago, I had watched a ton of Lightburn tutorials, some of them with, just regular people that are using Lightburn, sharing tips and stuff. And then a lot of them were on the Lightburn YouTube channel. So I guess that's the official tutorials or whatever. Jason was doing some. The problem is Jason is one of those dudes that's so smart that when he's doing a tutorial, it's like he almost goes too fast. It's like, whoa, 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 slow down. Let me stop it and back up. What did you do? Because he wrote the stuff, so he knows it like the back of his hand. And sometimes the people that know it really well like that aren't really the best teachers because they try to go too fast, or they assume people know something and leave that part out or something like that. But anyway, I found that after watching those tutorials, it's been just long enough that I probably forgot most of the stuff that that I saw. But I'm learning it, and sometimes the best way to learn something is just go, man, what does that button do? Because if you screw it up, you can always just hit Control Z and undo it real quick. So, but yeah, having a blast with that. Can't wait for the thing tonight. I don't know how many people will show up, but like I said, I don't care if it's just me by myself. I'll still be doing the stream and recording it, and then it'll be published uh, for everybody else at a later date. But really, really excited to do that. Should be a lot of fun. I see Charles Steed's in the house. I don't think I said hello to him. Good morning. Jack is right here at my feet. You could probably almost hear him snoring if you listen close. he's acting like he's had a rough morning. We hadn't really done anything. He did chase the ball out the back one time. I throw the ball out there, and he runs like crazy down the steps of the deck. And he's got a path down through the center of the woods, and if my aim is good and I throw the ball good instead of like a girl, it'll hit just right at that spot and bounce and goes all the way back to the fence. And he loves just running like crazy to get that ball. Let's see. Alan says, I watch the Lightburn tutorials on their channel as well as some from Laser Everything. Yeah, that's a good channel. Laser Everything has a series on Lightburn for Galvo lasers. Yeah, those guys over there at Laser Everything, they covered the whole spectrum. They got the CO2s, the fibers, the galvos, the diodes. The whole 9 yards. And that guy's been doing it a long time too. Yeah, Clyde says hit the back or undo, or some people call it the OSH button. Let's see. Larry says going to be doing several laser projects today. Another camper sign. All right. Yeah. That's something I haven't done yet. I need to go. And I found it so easy to do. One thing, Alan, I don't know if you can compare this. I guess, do you use the Vectric products like VCAR Pro or Aspire with your Onefinity? And if so, let me know what you think about this question. I have found that it seems like the trace function in Lightburn is better than VCAR Pro. I haven't used it a ton, but it just seems like before I would always find something I wanted to try to do, and I thought, well, I don't, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I just want to get it and trace it and create a DXF, and then be able to change a few things. So I would always get it, pull it into VCarve Pro, do the bitmap trace, play around with those settings, trying to get it as good as I can. But you always have stuff you have to clean up, it seems like. And then I would save it as a DXF or export it as a DXF, and then import the DXF into Lightburn. But now I've found that, I keep thinking, well, I want to try to wean myself off of VCarve Pro. If there's something I can do in Lightburn, I'd rather just do it in Lightburn. And I found that when you bring an image in and it's so simple, you just highlight it, right click, hit trace image, and then there's some settings, and it seems like it does a better job than VCarve Pro, at least in my opinion. What I've done so far. So, because a lot of the stuff I've traced so far, it's like I don't really even have to clean anything up. Maybe a little spot here or there, but it's quicker than VCarve Pro for me. And plus, it's nice if you can just do everything in one software and it's okay if you have to do a workaround, but let's see. Alan says, yes, Lightburn is way better for trace. It also imports, copies images in directly and swiftly. None of the file manipulation needed. Copy and paste it in. Yep. I tell you, Lightburn is really, I've always said that VCarve Pro and the Vectric stuff is a bargain. And it is, because it's made for routers and stuff, but Lightburn for lasers, it is an absolute steal. If you're using it with a diode, it's like $60. If you, in my case, I'd already paid the $60 to get, or actually, I think it was Larry Galt sent me a donation to cover that. So, oh my, we got some action going on around here now. I'm not sure what that is. That might be the trash guy. I haven't heard him yet. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the trash truck coming down. But then I upgraded and spent another $60 to get the DSP license, they call it, so that I can use it with the OhmTech CO2. And it is it's really sweet. I like because for $120 now, which is what it is for a CO2, it's just a steal for all the stuff it does. And I don't even know if I'm doing the stuff right. I think I'm doing it the way I want to do it, and it's working. But I've seen in some of the groups, people will say their program isn't working right, and then when they post what's going on, people will always say, well, are you trying to run it from your laptop with Lightburn, or are you sending it from Lightburn to the controller and then running it from there? And a lot of times they say that works better. And I have been, and maybe it's because they got a crummy computer or something, I don't know, but I have been oh yeah, there's the trash guy. Looks like we got a new trash guy. And that's why I was watching him, because the old trash guy, he would always flip the lid open and look in there. And a lot of times he would just reach in there and grab a couple of bags and throw them in the back of the truck. And he'd never put the thing on the little thing and dump it. So anything I had in the bottom, like boxes or Amazon boxes or something, they would still be in there. And it always used to tick me off. I'm like, you're coming here to empty it. I want it all empty. Don't leave it half full of stuff. But this guy, there was only like one little old bag in it, I think. And he stuck it on the back of the truck and flipped it in there. So Anyway, what was I talking about now? Well, now I've forgotten, but it'll come back to me, I guess. Let's see. Alan says, my son mentioned he believes Lightburn has some routines in it from other open source programs like Inkscape. Yeah, it may very well have that. I don't know. Client uses Inkscape. I think I downloaded that one time and tried to fool around with it, but just never had done it. Lonnie says poker has been good lately, and I'm close to getting a laser. Now I'm getting confused on what to get. I want to add an enclosure, air assist, fume extractor, and a rotary. Well, I wouldn't know what to tell you because there's a ton of good ones out there. Lots. It's not like in the old days there wasn't much to pick from, and now somebody comes out with something, and 14 other companies copy it. So, and each one tries to undercut the one before them. So. Yeah, Jack got all excited with that trash can. We got to go out there and get the trash can now, buddy. You'll be happy about that. George Rothfuss in the house. Happy hump day, Jack, Dave, and the gang. Okay, the poll is now reading 75 to 25 in the no. So not many happy campers this morning. Yeah, I would agree with that, Alan. Lasers are all about the budget. They certainly are. I know one thing. Of course, I haven't really tried to push that one as far as how thick of stuff I can cut. But when I was talking with them, I said, look, this is the one I want because I want one that's big enough and enough wattage to be able to do the stuff I want to do. But what I've been doing so far and having so much fun is these. I think I told y'all about the 1/4 inch. Just it's pure bond plywood, but it's the 1/4 inch, made from by Columbia Forest Products. In fact, it drop ships from there. I ordered it through Home Depot, and then they cut it up. It's in 12 inch by 19 inch panels. Like I said, that fits in a Glowforge or an OhmTech Polar or whatever kind of desktop thing you have. But that's what I've been playing around with, and that stuff just cuts really nice. And I found that when I'm cutting that stuff, it's not hardly using any of the power of that laser. I'm thinking, well, it makes me wonder what just how thick I can cut. And of course, I just still using the stock air assist. I haven't upgraded that yet, but I have plans to do that with a California Air Tools compressor. But if I'm gonna go the trouble to do it, I want to do it right and put the solenoid on there so that it shuts on and off, when the laser's on. But that's one thing I don't like about the stock air assist. It's like when you turn the controller on, not the laser switch, but just the controller, that pump's running all the time, which it doesn't really need to be, but it is. So, Lonnie says, I don't plan on cutting anything, mostly for engraving. I have a CNC for cutting. Okay. But let me tell you something. I have found I have found that since I've been playing around cutting stuff, I have cut so much stuff with that laser. And I look at it and I go, now, even if I wanted to do this on the router, there's no way I would be able to do it, because, you know, you just can't do it. You got a metal spinny thing on a router, and as it's cutting wood, you're going to have tear out, stuff like that, which you just don't have with a laser. So you can cut really fine detail and stuff. And it's stuff you'd never be able to do with a CNC router. Yeah, I agree. Said, bet you change your mind once you get one. Yep. And of course, if you know for sure that that's all you want to do, like maybe you have a plan to sell slate coasters or something where you're engraving personal stuff on them or whatever. Yeah, one of those little diodes or something will work fine for that. But if you even think you might want to cut something, you need to get something with a little more oomph. Although some of those ones they're coming out with now, they keep making those diodes more and more with more and more output, and some of them can, cut some stuff. So I don't know. Larry says, I wish I had a CO2 laser to cut out all the bamboo coasters I made just to get the burn look on the edges. Yeah, that would make them look cool. I got to tell you the a lot of the stuff I've been cutting, and if you're a channel member and tune in tonight, you'll see some of this stuff that I'm going to be showing. But I am a super big fan of that online box generator thing, that boxes.py or whatever it is, because it's not just boxes, it's got all kinds of stuff. And I have been, because I had done some of that stuff with the router. And of course, you have to put the little dog bone fillets and all that in there. And it just doesn't look as good. It just doesn't. But I personally like the when you're cutting that stuff, getting the dark edges. I like that contrast, especially when you're doing like a little box joint. I think it looks cool. Some folks don't like it. You know, they don't like the charred edge. Um, and if you don't, all you got to do really is, as you're programming that, tell it to make those fingers proud so that they stick out, and then you can put it up against the belt sander, and then you'll have a nice flush joint, but it will be back, without the charred edges. But I like the charred edge. I think that's what makes it look cool. Sean says, I hate to say it, but I tend to use my laser more than my router. Well, I mean, there's obviously things you can do on a router you can't do on a laser, and vice versa. But I'm finding, I've never been what I would call a creative person. I always tell folks I can't draw a straight line with a ruler and a pencil. But I'm finding now that, the laser and light burn in particularly just really open up some options for me to go, oh yeah, I can probably make that. In just a few minutes, I'm out there cutting it. So I am you're going to see, if you're a channel member and you're tuning in for the live stream, or you watch the edited version later on, you're going to see some of the stuff I'm doing, and you'll be going, oh yeah, no wonder Dave likes that thing so much. That's pretty cool. Because I have got my head's exploding. I got so many ideas for stuff. I was watching a live stream the other day, and this guy had something hanging on his wall in the background. And I looked at that and I thought, that's kind of cool. That makes some nice wall decor or whatever you want to call it. So I Googled, you know, the image, found a good black and white image, brought it into Lightburn, did the trace, did the layers, made it where it was cutting what it needed to cut first, and then I cut it yesterday, and it just all in a few minutes time, it went from here to where it's sitting on my workbench out there. So just just really cool. All right, well, I guess that was my time. Me and the Jackster got to go out there and drag the trash can back down. Some of y'all, I guess hopefully I'll be seeing y'all tonight. Be firing it up at about, are y'all seeing let me ask this before I get out of here too. The ones that are channel members, are y'all seeing the notifications and stuff that I'm putting in the community thing? I'm assuming all this stuff works, but, cause I post something in the community page on YouTube, and then I tell it that it's for the channel members. And so I assume y'all see that stuff. But anyway, be firing it up about 8:30, and I don't know how long we go. We'll just because this might be my first one, so I don't know how long it'll take to do anything. I am trying to get the camera angles and all that stuff where you can see what I'm doing, and I can share my screen with Lightburn so you can see that part of it too. So, okay, everybody's yes on the notification. Okay, thank you. I just assume YouTube knows what they're doing and all that stuff works, but all this stuff is new to me because even though I've had a YouTube channel since I think 2006 or 7, something like that. I've never done the channel things until recently. So, all righty, let's get out of here. Maybe some of the election returns that are coming in slow, maybe they'll get a little better. Who knows? But either way, I ain't gonna worry about it. It's I just don't. Well, I won't say I don't care, but I'm gonna quit worrying about stuff that I don't have any control over, and you should too. Anyway, y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all tomorrow or see you tonight for the laser distractions. See y'all.